Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
This is Optimal Finance Daily. The market right now doesn't care how fantastic your stocks are, by Vitaliy Katsenelson of ContrarianEdge.com. The Roman philosopher Seneca wasn't talking about the stock market when he wrote that time discovers truth, but he could have been. In the long run, a stock price will reflect a company's true intrinsic value. In the short run, the pricing is basically random. Here are two real-life examples. Let's say you had the smarts to buy Microsoft in November 1992. It would have been a brilliant decision in the long run. The software giant stock has gone up many-fold since. But 9 months later, in August 1993, that call did not look so brilliant. Microsoft shares had declined 25% in less than a year. In fact, it would have taken you 18 months until May 1994 for this purchase to break even. 18 months of dumbness? In the early 1990s, the PC industry was still in its infancy. Microsoft's DOS and Windows operating systems were de facto standards. Outside of Apple Macs and a tiny fraction of computers, every computer came pre-installed with DOS and Windows. Microsoft had a pristine balance sheet and a brilliant co-founder and CEO in Bill Gates, who would turn mountains upside down to make sure the company succeeded. The previously mentioned sentence is infested with hindsight. After all, that was almost 30 years ago. But Microsoft clearly had an incredible moat, which became wider with every new PC sold and every new software program written to run on Windows. Here's another example. GoPro is a maker of video cameras used by surfers, skiers, and other extreme sports enthusiasts. If you had bought the stock soon after it went public in 2014, you would have paid $40 a share for a $5.5 billion market cap company earning about $100 million a year, a price-earnings ratio of about 55. Your impatience would, however, have been rewarded. The stock more than doubled in just a few short months, hitting $90. Would it have been a good decision to buy GoPro? The company makes a great product. I own one. But GoPro has no protective moat around its business. None. Most components that go into its cameras are commodities. There's no barriers to entry into the specialized video camera segment. Most important, there are no switching costs for consumers. Investors who bought GoPro after its IPO paid a huge premium for the promise of much higher earnings from a company that might or might not be around 5 years later. What's even more interesting is that some of those buyers were then selling to even bigger fools who bought at double the price a few months later. GoPro was a momentum stock that was riding a wave about to break. Fast forward a few years and GoPro sales have been on a decline. Nowadays, its stock trades below $6. These two examples bring us to the non-trivial topics of complex systems and nonlinearity. My favorite thinker, Nassim Taleb, wrote the following in his book, Anti-Fragile: Things That Gain from Disorder. Quote, "Complex systems are full of interdependencies, hard to detect, and nonlinear responses. Nonlinear means that when you double the dose of, say, a medication, or when you double the number of employees in a factory, you don't get twice the initial effect, but rather a lot more or a lot less." End quote. The stock market is a complex system where in the short term, there are few, if any, interdependencies between decisions and outcomes. In the short run, stock prices are driven by thousands of random variables. Stock market participants have different risk tolerances and emotional aptitudes, and diverse time horizons ranging from milliseconds for high-speed traders to years for long-term investors. In other words, predicting where a stock price will be in a day, a month, or even a year is not much different from guessing whether the ball on a roulette wheel will land on red or black. In the longer run, good decisions should pay off because fundamentals will shine through, as was the case with buying Microsoft in 1992 and not buying GoPro in 2014. But in the short run, there's no correlation between good decisions and results. Whenever you look at your portfolio, think of Microsoft and GoPro. The performance of your stocks in the short run tells you absolutely nothing about what you own or about the quality of your decisions. You may own a portfolio of Microsofts, and its value is going down because at this juncture, the market doesn't care about Microsofts. Or maybe you stuffed your retirement fund with overpriced fads that may not be around a year from now. But in the longer run, remember what Seneca knew. Time discovers truth. You just listened to the post titled, "The Market Right Now Doesn't Care How Fantastic Your Stocks Are" by Vitaliy Katsenelson of ContrarianEdge.com. This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Does this sound familiar? You're in line at checkout, cart full of items, your toddler is screaming for a treat, and you left your wallet in the car. Or was it at home? No need to panic. With your iPhone in hand, you can tap to pay using Apple Card with Apple Pay, and you'll earn 2% daily cash back when you do. So if your credit card isn't Apple Card, maybe it should be. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Checking off the boxes on your to-do list is a great feeling. And when it comes to checking off coverage, a State Farm agent can help you choose an option that's right for you. Whether you prefer talking in person, on the phone, or using the award-winning app, it's nice knowing you have help finding coverage that best fits your needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's a great Seneca quote. Time discovers truth. And I appreciated how Vitaliy reminded us all today that while hindsight is 20/20, it's really challenging to know which stocks are going to stand the test of time. This is why I'm a fan of index fund investing. It completely removes all of the work around selecting the right companies that have a moat around their business, as described today with Microsoft. This is because index funds are self-cleansing. When any individual holding loses value, at a certain point, it will be delisted from the index and replaced by stocks that are performing better. Professional investment advisors make predictions all the time on which stocks will do well based on fancy metrics and poring over earnings reports and evaluating trends. But the overwhelming majority are wrong. According to a 2020 report, over a 15-year period, nearly 90% of actively managed investment funds failed to beat the market. Portfolio managers are often Ivy League educated investors who spend their entire workday attempting to outperform the stock market. If investment professionals can't consistently beat the market, why would I even try? Especially when I consider that I don't need to beat the market to meet my financial goals. I simply need to match the market, and I can do that by investing in index funds. And that will do it for today. Have a great day and start to your weekend. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back here reading to you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.